Boom. You are back with the crew. Thanks for showing back up again. And I do appreciate your time. Time is important to all of us. And the fact that you're spending it with me means a lot. Those of you who didn't see it, I just did an interview, just released an interview with Lewis Jackson. Phenomenal young man with brilliant questions and a style all his own. His channel is probably the most informative, or one of the most informative in crypto and in the space completely, in my opinion. We're glad he's on our side, let's put it that way. Tonight I'm going to ask a bunch of really hard-hitting questions. I'm not going to give any of my own answers. Well, maybe here and there I'll spread them in. But the world today has decided that everything's a narrative. Everything is right or left. Everything is you're in favor or not. Everything is, oh, well, that upsets me. You can't say that. You can't be like that. You can't. That information is really hurting my ears. I don't want to hear it. Well, I'm not saying that you can't be that way, and I'm not saying that you should try and change that. Good for you. Whatever your life path takes you upon, it's the path that you should enjoy. Find a way to enjoy it. Does seem to me a lot of people that take that path don't seem to be enjoying life. So I'm going to hit you with some hard-hitting questions tonight. Maybe you can answer a few of these down below. Information. Let's say narrative information. So the information that you and I receive is just about worthless on a global scale. It's, you hear one side and then you hear the other side. No, you only hear one side. Well, I'm speaking specifically of the US at this point. The news narrative, everything you hear is one-sided. It's never takes an objective view at what they've done or what their decisions were or what they decided in the past or what they've deemed to be the way it is, the truth. That's the truth as we know it. I'd like to start off with a hard-hitting question that I asked somebody today, and they didn't have an answer for me, but yet they knew the answer. They knew it. They knew the number. It wasn't new to them. But they didn't have any answers as to why. See, why is it that we went through that 2-year span of a lot of people getting sick, we'll leave it like that, yet more people are dying today than ever then? Yet nobody seems to want to ask that question. Well, it's kind of come to my, and you, all of us together, that things like information have fallen into the jurisdiction of tyranny, maybe is the best word for that. And it really upsets me to the point of all of us in crypto or in money or in sound money are trying to change the world through money. And it bothers me a bit that you and I can't make a bigger difference on a different level. Now, of course, if you monetarily change your life or generations of your ancestry for going forward, okay, your offspring and other people will be monetarily rewarded, we would hope, possibly with generational wealth. So you could make a big difference socially and around the world. However, it does strike me that money has been corrupted, information has been corrupted, the medical field seems corrupted. It seems, I just heard a story today of somebody getting just terrible medical service in a hospital from a doctor that they claimed was doing a great job. And I'm sure they were. But it's the system seems to be broken. And it doesn't seem as if anybody's in charge of it. And I don't mean charge in the sense of a centralized. It seems the only thing that's centralized is the information escaping from all avenues. Whether that be the pharmaceutical, whether that be the military, whether that be the industrial complex in itself, whether that be anything to do with Wall Street. What's going on at the SEC? What's happening with the decisions that coming through the White House? All of it seems so centralized and more confined and more condensed more than ever before, and it's given to us in narrative form. There's the narrative. You decide whether or not you want to be a good person, a good American. You want to believe this or that or this, okay? And if you don't believe in what we're selling, then you're the problem. Maybe. Where's the objectivity? What happened to a system or a society that actually used to have journalism? It used to have people asking those hard questions. Well, my money doesn't work as well as it used to. Our money's broken. What have you guys done to my money here? You know, I was talking to another person today, and we were talking about the fact that you can't make it on $50 an hour anymore. $50 an hour. It's crazy. Can't run a household on that. What I'm trying to say is, when you've corrupted the value of something, whether that be the value of the family, whether that be the value of money, whether that be the value of your job or your lifestyle, or the fact that you can't even have discussions with people that oppose your narrative or their narrative. If you question them, you're deemed the problem. What does that sound like? What sort of society is that? There's been a few societies like that in the history of man, and they didn't end well. We have an answer to this. We have an answer that's called sound money. We also have an answer which goes to the core of who you and I really are. How do you store your labor? How do you store your value? What are you worth? Are you worth $1 that keeps trickling through your fingers as soon as you get it? And then you go to take your family out or something and it's worthless? No, you must store your economic wealth or your slave labor in a form of currency that retains its value and possibly even appreciates over time. Wow, what a concept, Alan. You're really pie in the sky now, aren't you? But we have the opportunity. It's before us. You and I know that. You and I have been working on this for years now. We understand where the value of money is and where it's headed. For the first time in my quite lengthy lifetime, this country in particular, or the Western countries, are being exposed for the value of their money is declining in a terrible, terrible way. It's going to change lives. It's changing lives now. And I'm not trying to put this out to be anything more than simply informative and letting everybody be aware of the fact that we do have the answers. And I talk about this often on this show. The answer to tyranny, in my opinion, is decentralized blockchain. In particular in the cryptocurrency form. But decentralized blockchain, and one day on a Web3, is going to change you and I's life. Maybe not my life, certainly my son's life. It's just a matter of, are you willing to take the challenge? Are you willing to be the person that the US is about to have a big 4-day weekend coming up, the 4th of July, the birth of our nation, or however you would like to put the holiday. Are you going to be the person that argues with people about cryptocurrency, or are you going to bring up the opportunity to say, does any of this make sense to you anymore? And who's representing us? And when's the last time they did something for you or me? It's not too late for us to change and turn back what I consider to be tyranny in all its informational levels. And we go over it all the time. I mean, you look at the medical field, the energy field, all of it has lost its faith with the common man. The common man's scratching their head going, what are you talking about? You're trying to tell me water isn't wet. And we're looking at wet water saying, wait a minute, none of that makes sense to me. I don't want that. I don't want that for my kids. I used to remember when my kids would play in the streets without shoes on and ride their bikes, and they were free and they had a great life and a childhood that was memorable. Now there's pockets of the world that are still like that. It can be everywhere. You and I want that. So I'm not asking you to be a rebel. I'm asking you to invoke your wisdom. Because if you're in crypto and you're in sound money, well, you saw everything the other fish in the bowl didn't see. Because you're sharper than they are. And I'm not just saying that, I mean that. I've met crypto people. You people are sharp. If you can get the concept of crypto and what it means to the future of all of us, and if you can get the concept of decentralized money, government, voting, medical system, energy, can you imagine decentralizing energy and having all the energy companies not owned by government, where it's wasteful, to where they're all competing against each other to get energy to you and I virtually free? That's the world we need to live in. They've centralized everything. Voting, all of it is completely centralized. We have the technology. We have the brilliant people. We have the opportunity of a lifetime. It's right now. It's tomorrow, and the next day, and the day after that. And I think we have the people to do it. I know we do. We certainly have the code and the networks and the people who believe in it. And now all of a sudden big corporations are getting behind this. And now it's really, really important that you and I hold the BlackRocks, okay, the grayscales. We hold their feet to the fire. They have to be decentralized. It's the future of mankind. I know you know that. I just thought I would bring it up. I love where we're all headed and the way this whole thing is unfolding. Because, see, I couldn't have made this video 5 years ago because they weren't making the broad mistakes and the obvious centralization that you need to have this organization stamp your passport, or you have to have these 3 shots, or you can't get on a plane, or you can't travel, or you can't go to these countries. We won't let you in this place or that place. Is that not what we fought against in World War II? Isn't that what we're vehemently opposed on this incredible weekend coming before us? Weren't we seeking freedom from taxation, tyranny, government rule? It's a big weekend, guys. Remember who our forefathers were. And I don't care what side of any aisle that you're on. Doesn't matter to me. Brilliant people on both sides of any table. But the Constitution was written by people who cared about people. Not the politicians of today who claim to care about people, who obviously do not. Something to think about. I know I asked a lot of questions in there, and I hope you guys can help me answer some of them. Okay, guys, I really hope you guys have a great holiday weekend. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to shoot some live fun video on this boat, and I'm going to share it with you, and we're going to have a good time bumping with some fun in the boats, and a great weekend, and it looks like it's going to be amazing weather for the 4th, and I can't wait to share those videos with you. And until we meet again, I love you all, and I am out. So today, 6-hour drive, and in the middle of this drive, I got this 45-minute delay. And I'm thinking, oh man, must be road construction, maybe an accident, who knows, something big up there. 45 minutes later, I get to the site. It's a truck all the way over in the far right lane that lost its lumber on the opposite side of the traffic, and they had 2 lanes closed off. And I thought, are they on our side? Whose side are they on? That's just crazy. Well, I guess they didn't have anywhere to be. No big deal to them, I guess. All right. Love you guys.